In a lot of ways, music just came naturally, and like, you know, I signed up for choir and I was a little girl, and then my mom made me take piano lessons, and so it's just kind of like all been these like life experiences culminated together that has like landed me here. So
I got started playing drums in church. Mom took me to church every Sunday. Coolest thing about being there was the praise and worship, which is the vibing part. The best instrument of all of it was the drums. So fell in love with that, and then went from that to guitar and song. That was the gateway.
So Lottie and I started like hanging out and jamming together in 2016. In 2017, he moved to Nepal. He moved to Kathmandu. And a couple months later, I moved also to Kathmandu, Nepal. And there was a mishap in Kathmandu that essentially forced us to lose both of our jobs, because we did have jobs when we moved to Kathmandu. And that from that, we were kind of just like forced to like, what are we going to do for money? Well, we both still sing and stuff, and you have your guitar. So it was like, okay, well, what are we going to call ourselves? And like literally, I got my phone out. I went to Google and I just started like thinking about like different little things. Like, well, there's the two of us, maybe two birds. I like two trees. I like trees a lot. That's cool. And then I was like, should we say it in Chinese? Should we say it in Spanish? And I was like, no. Lottie's like Nigerian, right? So I asked him, I was like, hey, how do you say two trees in Yoruba? Is it, at first I typed it in, it said Meji Iggy. He's like, that's wrong.
Nothing is wrong. It's just in context of a statement, you would call it the other way around.
It wasn't correct. It was just, it was Google Translate. And you know how literal Google Translate is. So he was like, Igimeji. If you were to say it in context, it'd be Igimeji. I was like, all right, great, love it. Said to myself a few times, Igimeji. That works. It's catchy. I like it. We're going to call ourselves that for a while and see how it goes.
It's easy to find for people if they spell it correctly. It's like very, very unique. There isn't anything close to it, so that's cool. Favorite part of performing is just the totality of it. One show to me is like a drop in the bucket. The multitude of shows and the experience that we've all built as artists performing those shows, and how those make us perform the songs better, and how those even make sometimes recording those songs much better. So for me, it's like the totality of it, because I get a little bit of bundled of nerves around the actual performance. I know I like look cool and pull it off, but in that mode, it's still work. So it's still, there are these chords to play. There's an order of the set list. There's a position I'm fitting in and in. But the totality of how everyone grows after every performance is probably what I love about it the most.
I feel like for me, like performing has become like a more spiritual experience overall. I've been performing for a really long time, and it went from me being nervous like Lottie to me being like really, really comfortable on stage, to the point where I'm just like, I pretty much own this moment now, so I'm just gonna roll it. So to me, performing is like really transformative. My favorite part is just feeling the energy of the crowd, feeling the vibe, catching the vibe of the song, and like literally just rocking out on stage and just feeling that moment and realizing it's probably never gonna happen again, but it will the next show. It's a very transformative spiritual thing that happens. So that's my favorite part.
Put it out and keep going, because putting it out is the first step in legitimizing yourself, I think, to a certain level. You have to put it out, realize that it's a hit or that it's not, that people like it or that they don't, and realize to yourself, if this is indeed something that you want to keep going, that you care enough to continuously do that, because that consistency is what will ultimately drive you to want to perfect the song, want to figure out a better way to promote the song, want to figure out a better way to get these songs in front of more people, motivating you to get the band together and ask places to perform and such. So putting it out, listening for the feedback, and being consistent is the biggest thing you can do for yourself. And this is a business, so my own end says for sure, look into registering it and making sure that you have your publishing rights organization, the BMI or ASCAP, and look through the methods of how you want to collect your royalties, because it costs a little and it can build big in the long run, and you want to get it right from the jump. So be meticulous about the business aspect, or at least acknowledge that it's important and maybe outsource it if you have to. But acknowledge the business aspect, but be consistent in putting out and working harder in your craft.
I'm on the opposite end, I feel like. I honestly feel like one of the reasons why we were able to like put something out and it had some traction is because we were performing the songs before we even recorded them. So we had like a lot of practice. By the time we got into the studio, it was more about just like hearing the song and hearing how it was sounding and perfecting that over like what are we going to play, and trying to like really craft that part. So I really feel like you should be performing before you actually record anything, because that helps you perfect the music before you even go into the studio. And that way, whenever you're listening to your record, you know what you're listening for. So that also performing helps you drum up a fan base. It helps create interest in what you're doing. It gives people something to look forward to. So I would say perform. This is very DIY. Like, we don't have any label.
An agent or someone to magically do
the
this.
label would be the one to decide all that. Usually that's
Right.
the label, but yeah, we don't have a label. And we have like very minimal help. It's literally just us and our friends. Like, that's why I like doing this, is because Train's like actually my friend. We get each other gifts. Like, it's nice that I'm surrounded by really creative people and we believe in each other. I believe in them just as much as they believe in me. We just want to make things together and just create like a lasting legacy that will outlive us. So that's why I
real
like it.
gift
So
is the friends we met along the way.
So we're super, super hands-on with all of it. I feel like we were super hands-on with Two Trees. I feel like there wasn't much that went on that we didn't either have to like come to some sort of compromise or agreement on, or someone just took the lead and was like, all right, let's just do it this way,
Every one of these was done by a local artist that we just literally met person to person. That's probably what makes it more beautiful and more on brand with the silent model thing. Is that local artists have the ability and capability to be able to do this. And it's cool to see that they can and rise to expectations.
So you can find us on all streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, Google,
Pandora,
Amazon. Also, you can find us on YouTube, and we're really pushing our YouTube channel because we're trying to make it grow and flourish. So we have our entire album is on YouTube, as well as some extra music videos that we've shot here. And so definitely those two things. Also, you can follow us on social media. Everything is under Igimeji. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. We also have a website if you are trying to keep up with any dates or shows or anything like that, or if you just want to reach out personally to us, you can always message us through the website. Yeah.
It's www.igimeji.com.
Yep.
IGIMEJI.com.
I'm Kayla.
I'm Lottie. We're Igimeji.
And you have been watching Now You Get It.